It's rare to find a Gangrel who still claims membership within the Camarilla. And Xaviar is the reason. Often ignored by the other Justicars, he was not truly noticed until he walked into the Conclave, claiming to have encountered an antediluvian who had destroyed the rest of his coterie. Even then, his claims were rebuffed. In return, he resigned his position as Justicar and left the Camarilla after accusing the remaining Justicars of perfidy against their members. Word spread slowly throughout the clan, but they too eventually discarded the safety net of the sect. Xaviar met final death soon after, though the exact method is largely unknown outside of his descendants. Those of his lineage who still walk the night share a heavy guilt with the rest of the clan, not believing his words sooner. They know that he was wronged, and they take up his torch to bring Clan Gangrel into the light of truth. Greetings, kindred. I am voivodemekhet, and welcome back to our World of Darkness and the Laws of the Night playlist. In this playlist, we go over LARP, live action roleplay rules for Vampire the Masquerade, which are presented to us by Mind's Eye Theater and By Night Studios. So, Loresheets in the book are marked down as a special type of background advantage. You can buy these at character creation, or with your storyteller's permission, you can buy them after your character's already been in play for some time. This is something that you're going to want to talk to your storyteller about, because not all Loresheets will fit within the confines of a chronicle. Loresheets are a special way of not only giving your character a special advantage or advantages in gameplay, but also tying them in to the overall background meta plot within the Vampire the Masquerade storyline. I have found as a storyteller that Loresheets tend to be ignored at character creation just because it's a new mechanic and people don't exactly know what it is. Now, depending on when you're watching this, or even in your chronicle setting, this might not be true for you. You could very well have a game there people are obsessed with Loresheets, and with good reason. People who are used to playing Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition tabletop will know the benefits of Loresheets and exactly what they can do for your character. And there are several options in Laws of the Night and in future publications coming out from By Night Studios. That being said, I do want to point out that Loresheets are a lot different in LARP than they are in tabletop. In the tabletop setting of Vampire the Masquerade, Loresheets are going to add a special nuance to your character sheet. You might get a bump here and there in a background or even a discipline power because you have an associated Loresheet. However, in LARP, Loresheets tend to be a heavier hitting mechanic. They give you massive advantages, and they also should be something that are limited in a game, maybe only allowing a certain number of people out of a larger group to take that amount. Or you could build an entire chronicle completely around a Loresheet. Another huge difference from tabletop to LARP is that, much like all other backgrounds in LARP, the Loresheets are limited to 3 different advantages instead of 5 as they are in tabletop, as there is a condensed way of running things, as with all backgrounds in LARP, compared to tabletop. Purchasing Loresheets can be done with your free points at character creation. At character creation, you get 7 free background traits, and you are completely allowed to dump those points into a Loresheet, getting those free dots. And I want to stress that very much because there's a difference between dots and experience traits. At character creation, you will be given a free amount of experience traits to flesh out your character, to make them an individual. And when you have those are to be spent as experience points. Backgrounds are purchased at 3 experience per dot. But with your 7 free traits of dots, you can just take the points completely without worrying about the expanded cost when it comes to experience. That being said, if you wanted to buy the Sect Veteran Loresheet, for example, taking that would cost you 6 of your 7 free dots of backgrounds. However, if you're going to buy it with your free XP at character creation, it would cost you 3 points for a level 1, 6 points for a level 2, and 9 experience points for a level 3. Bring the total to 18 points if you wanted to buy a complete lore sheet. Now, personally, I am the kind of person who likes to buy things little by little over time so that my character has a chance to grow into what those advantages are. That is my style of playing. It is not the only style of playing. And being able to start with a small amount of a lore sheet to build up the tension is a lot of fun. With that being said, you do not have to buy these in order of experience. You do not have to start with level 1. You could very well start with the 3-point background instead, because what these are associated advantages with the meta plot that your character can take advantage of in any order they wish. You could buy a 1, you could buy 1 and a 3, you could buy just the second one. You can do it any way you want to. And that needs to be kept in mind, that these are not a progression style trait. In that way, multiple characters could start with the same lore sheet and have completely different advantages for taking it. Reading the clan novel series, the Fall of Atlanta saga, there's so many different ways to actually put it. The Gangrel storyline, featuring Ramona and the exploits that happened at Table Rock. If you haven't read it, you need to read it. It was so amazing and heart-wrenching. The Gangrel really suffered a lot back in 1999 in the World of Darkness storyline. Xaviar himself was just such a painful thing to experience. And that's really what I see reading that was an experience. Xaviar had adventures after the events in upstate New York, where he is said to actually have run into the Gangrel Antediluvian, Anoia herself. He experienced things, he grew as things, and these things, being that close to a 3rd generation vampire, is what bleeds down into his clan this night. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this lore sheet, being a descendant of Xaviar, really can bring a Gangrel in Vampire the Masquerade LARP. Investing 1 dot into this lore sheet gets you Where the Bodies Are Buried. Xaviar's knowledge of melding with the earth left a mark on his own lineage, as he, and possibly you, have experienced visions of being inside the clan's founder's vast inhuman form. By making a successful Resolve plus Awareness test versus a difficulty of 4, you can detect any vampires currently using Earthmeld, or who lies torpid beneath the soil, within 75 miles of you. In addition, once per night, if any of these vampires are Gangrel, you may choose to mystically drain a small amount of their blood from them, supernaturally resetting your hunger to level 2. These Gangrel are aware that they have lost some amount of blood, but not why, unless they are also possessors of this lore sheet. The loss of blood does not alter their hunger, nor does it cause the blood bond when you ingest it. That's an interesting thing to be able to do as a Gangrel. You can seep into the ground and basically pull blood to you within 75 miles to reset your hunger to 2. That's actually pretty big. And the fact that some of them might know why, but not exactly where it's gone, is I don't know. It's one of those abilities that's like you use this when you need to. Because what if you're at hunger of 5 and you go ahead and you go down into earth meld and you just activate this? This is something that can definitely bring about some tipping of the scales as far as Gangrel go. Investing 2 dots into this Loresheet gets you Monstrous Bat. Xaviar's preferred bestial form was that of a bat. Following his encounter with the Antediluvian, he found that he had the ability to change into a hybrid human and bat. Once per game, you may take a similar form. Taking this form requires a simple action, no rouse check, and allows you to fly at your normal movement speed. Alternately, once per game, whenever you use shapeshift or metamorphosis, you may add appropriately sized bat wings to your form, allowing you to fly at normal movement speed, along with the other benefits of your transformative power. This benefit is not considered to be a discipline power, nor a transformative power. You may maintain your hybrid form until dawn, or until you end the usage of shape change or metamorphosis. Taking this form is an obvious breach of the masquerade. Let's just take that in for a minute. Not only do you have the ability to basically use the old Vicissitude Elder power Chiropian Marauder, where you become like a hybrid human bat thing, almost like a Krenos werebat situation. I guess very similar to that horrible sheriff in the original Bloodlines game. But you could literally just turn into what you turn into on the regular. Maybe a wolf, and grow appropriately sized bat wings. That's pretty kick-ass. Investing 3 dots into this Loresheet gets you Loyal Hounds. Few listened to Xaviar the first time he spoke. Rarely does anyone turn a deaf ear to his lineage in the modern nights. Once every 3 months, you may call for aid, and 2 loyal Gangrel neonates will answer. 2 neonate NPCs with the statistic block from Nomad will join you. As long as your fight is defending territory against a supernatural threat. These characters are controlled by the storyteller. Attempting to use these vampires for improper purposes, such as to seize power, will fail, and the Hounds will leave. I like the idea of these neonate Gangrel who just effectively decide that they're going to help you. That they are there because they respect your lineage. But the moment they realize that you might be using any type of selfishness to achieve a personal goal, they hit the bricks. I like the fact that that can happen. And it does make a lot of sense with how Xaviar was. Now, if we turn to page 348 in Laws of the Night, kiddies, we come to Nomad Gangrel. Gangrel tend to wander nomadically between cities. Their motivations are often unknown. Why has this Gangrel chosen to visit your city? It's a mystery you may not want to solve. There is a pretty good stat block on here on how these characters work, what they can achieve. Their discipline spread is actually pretty good and not completely set on what you might find just for Gangrel. Not only do they have the standard Protean, Fortitude, and Animalism, they have a little tie-in to City Gangrel here with Obfuscate, but they also have Potence. So there are some ways that you might be able to use these, and these guys could be ferocious when it comes to fighting with you. So, the Descendants of Xaviar. The Descendants of Xaviar are going to end up being all Gangrel, first off, because Xaviar himself was a Gangrel. He was a pretty damn terrifying Gangrel, too. Very interesting character if you guys have a chance to read about him. And I think that this lore sheet here really does pull up the best of what might be associated with this character. Going further into the way that Clan Gangrel works, though, it's really nice. I'm very much enjoying these clan-specific lore sheets. Because you're not gonna, the most of the time, have a lot of the same clan in a game. So it does make sure that your city is going to have a lot of interesting variety. I am voivodemekhet, and thank you for joining me in this look at this lore sheet, and I cannot wait to see you all in the next one. Good evening.